David, what type of hormones are in the food system?
Well, there's several different kinds of hormones and hormone-like chemicals in the food system. For example, there are hormones, synthetic steroids, for example, that we intentionally add to the food system through the production of beef cattle. There are pesticides that are hormone-like in their action that are sprayed on food crops that make their way to the food system. In fact, the EPA now is looking at over 70 different known or suspected hormone-like chemicals. A third concern is industrial chemicals like bisphenol A or phthalates that are known to disrupt hormones that are added to food packaging. So bisphenol A, for example, is a basic building block of polycarbonate plastic. Phthalates, a plasticizer, are added to vinyl or PVC plastic, which is also used in food packaging. And then a fourth problem are industrial chemicals that end up as contaminants in the food chain. So for example, dioxins or PCBs, which are so persistent in the environment, but then through our own practices, they get recirculated back into the food chain and accumulate there. So when we take rendered animal fats and feed them back to animals, we're concentrating dioxins and PCBs back into the food chain.
What are some of the health diseases that we're seeing that may be related to exposure to hormones through the food system?
Well, hormones play a really critical role in the human body. They're important in child development and fetal development, where they act as coordinators and messengers telling different organ systems when to develop and how to develop along with each other. They're important too in the function of the body as we get older, our reproductive system, for example. Hormones are involved in metabolism, and we're just finding out more and more how integral hormones are to the function of the entire human body throughout our lifespan. At the same time, the science is drawing links between these synthetic hormones in the food chain, these added hormones, and the chronic diseases that are plaguing our population, which are really common and many are on the rise. They're very expensive, these chronic diseases, and the concern is that through our industrial food system we're adding to that disease burden. So I'm talking about things like breast cancer and prostate cancer, obviously cancers that are hormone related. I'm talking about things like fertility problems and other reproductive problems, birth defects, even brain development and brain function, which some of the chemicals like bisphenol A are now tied through scientific studies to disruptions in brain development.
What are some of the things that people can do to avoid hormones in their food?
Well, people can do a lot. As consumers, for example, you can simply buy meat or dairy products raised without the use of added hormones. So beef without synthetic hormones, which can include beef from your local farmer. It could also be certified organic beef. Milk produced without the use of RBGH hormone. You can buy produce similarly produced without pesticides, many of which have been linked to disruption of hormones. You can also buy food products from farms or farm systems where some of these practices that concentrate industrial pollutants are not used. So for example, buying meat or dairy products from farms that don't recycle rendered fats into their animal feed.
Great. Thanks very much.
Thank you.